so far with this, I feel like the bosses have been fair, and like the different some of the, in addition to bosses, like some of the challenge rooms where they just keep throwing waves of enemies at you, like that stuff can get really, really tough. It's real good. These fucking birds are flying around you. I'm like, I fucking hate these birds.
Oh God.
But it's like, you know, I feel the game works best when it allows you to just get back to the mistake you made and to try to fix it. I really am not vibing with the run back stuff and certain areas of like having to get to back to where you were. I'm like, it's the normal enemies are difficult enough and hard enough to like get around that I'm like, after I've done this a couple times, I'm like, I don't need to do it 100 more. And I understand get good, but that stuff does get in my way and kind of pads the runtime of this game that I'm just like, I understand why. And that is for a lot of people. It's not for me, and that's fine.
Yeah, I think this game is definitely a lot tougher than Hollow Knight at the start. And on the opposite side, way less obtuse, right? But the number one question that was asked a million times during this marathon stream is, what are some immediate differences? Can I hop in here? Is it harder? And I would say that Hollow Knight at the start is definitely not as difficult as this, where there were times where I'm early into Silksong, I'm going, oh my God, I'm getting chunked for 2 ticks of damage. And that's where I would recommend to everybody that this is the time right now that if you're liking the game and if you're playing on PC, to download those mods. Download the mods that will help you. And because I don't want you to just give up on this experience, because I know how punishing it could be. And I was already floating that idea out there to Greg, and people were like, oh, Andy's saying Greg's bad at games. Like, no, Greg has a kid and a family and doesn't want to spend 3 hours on a boss fight. So like, help, you know, there are these mods out there already through Nexus Mods, and I can easily run you through this shit and help you and just do it for you, because I think a lot of these mods are a bit more helpful. And yes, you're changing the core of the game, but I'd rather the core of the game be changed and you just give up on what could be one of your favorite experiences ever. If it were a game that just had difficulty options. You know?
And then that goes back to the favorite experiences ever. It's like, goddamn, this game is so special. Like the art being so unique and every single thing, nothing feels like tiles next to each other. Every single bit feels like it was handcrafted. And I don't know for a fact that it was, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, right? Like it really feels like, in addition to the beautiful animations of each character and designs of the world and everything, it feels like every single room is its own experience.
100%
and
deliberate.
And I can't believe how the every frame of painting concept is true for literally every frame in this game. Like every single shot in this, I would put on my wall in my house. Like it's so gorgeous and unique. And Andy and I talk about the puppeting tool all the time, and like when games just have that flash aesthetic. And I feel like when you look at Hollow Knight, this might just, it would not in motion, just a screenshot of it. You might be like, we've seen this before. And it's like, no, you fucking haven't. Like nothing is quite like this.
Yeah. And like the soundtrack behind it as well, of every frame, right, is just like so beautiful and unique, and the range that it has. Like the early segments feel kind of like very typical of like this weird kind of wilderness that you're in and exploring that. And then just like the way things will change over time. And like Andy and I are in an area right now that like I'm excited to him to like really explore, just because the way the score evolves and gets weird at times is just fucking incredible. That reminds me of some games that I won't say out loud just to not spoil some things, but again, just like y'all haven't seen shit yet in terms of visual design and sound score and even like sound design. There's just like the game like keeps just going and amping those things up to another degree, where, you know, they were in that interview with Schreier where they're just like, oh yeah, we just like kind of kept making this game. And there were moments where I'm like, oh, I could see possibly early on, this is where they wanted to finish the game. This is like, this would have been the final beat or whatever. And then they just kept making more and more, and that more and more, for the most part, is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's Greg. I'm worried that I may have gotten your hopes up for mods, because you're playing on the Xbox store.
Yeah, but I must have not been in the Twitch chat when you suggested that I use mods if it ever got tough or whatever, and I wouldn't. I don't think. Like again, like I here's my hope with this game. Again, yeah, Greg sucks at games or whatever they said there. True, I usually like a 13-year-old coming of age story. Maybe there's a dead parent involved, visual novel. But I don't think it's so much I'm bad at games as much as like I usually am just not drawn to Metroidvanias, let alone punishing Metroidvanias.
Oh, nobody was making fun of you. No. They were saying, oh, Andy's telling Greg that he sucks at games for suggesting mods.
Yeah. I know.
And yes, but it was like, no, I just, people got time, and
and I hear that, and so, but my interest level in Hollow Knight right now, and how much I am enjoying Hollow Knight right now, and the fact that we have been, I saw a couple other, they might have been former industry games journos types talking about, since it's just out, we've all been lifted from the burden of an embargo. You know what I mean? We're not rushing to try to, and the people talking about they're going to chip away at it and do this. My hope would be that would be my life with it, where I love this game. Playing this game, I'm so like, fuck, I got to go back to play Hollow Knight 1. You know what I mean? I already downloaded it to the Xbox at home. Like, I know I'm so far from that. It's that idea, though, of like, all right, cool, from here to Redacted, from that to Ghost of Yote, from that to probably some other Redacted game or whatever. When do I actually get back to it? And when will muscle memory and all of that jazz? But my hope is, again, the way I see the game is, I know it's punishing. I haven't run into those difficulty spikes yet. I know there's skill checks coming up.
And maybe like by the time you get to them, there will be
patches or something.
Well, not even balance patches, but more people figuring out like the metas to certain fights, where it's like we're coming in to certain points where like everybody else is coming in with us. So it's like everybody at the same time is trying to figure out like, how do we get past this certain fight that some people are saying is harder than the final boss kind of thing.
Yeah, and so like, for me, though, coming back to it, like I take so much enjoyment of, all right, cool, I'm just going to do a Night of Rosary. I'm just going to go do normal enemies in this area, just farm them, get all the stuff here. I still haven't bought that key. I found the locked door, but the key's over there for 500 beads, but I kept waiting for, I'm going to run into that boss on this. I'm going to run into the skill check where I just can't do it. I get frustrated and I walk away. And instead I've run into several bosses that I was like, okay, fuck, let's pay attention. What are you doing? Okay, and I beat them in 5 tries or 6 tries, maybe, whatever it is. But it's not, I haven't hit that wall where I'm like, I can't progress, so I'm going to go back and do something else. When I hit that wall, my hope is to go back and get all the other things that I haven't done and then come back. Like, back to the Hell Is Us comparison, I just enjoyed running around the world. And so not having the embargo on top of me and not feeling like the game is like, you got to get to the top of the Citadel. Why aren't you there yet? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I can totally see this being a game I do put down, and then, I'm getting on a flight and I don't have something else, and I jump into that and I do a run that is just like, cool, let's just buy all this stuff to get our feet wet and then come back and try to figure it out. But mods had never even entered the equation for me. But again, you make a great point, especially being so far along and Barrett being at hour 9 of this boss fight, where I just would never do that. Like, it would be eventually of like, I'm either not good enough, or that's when I look up a strategy and I do it. Because that's the other thing I've been actively avoiding, where people pop up and they are like on the BS. That's Blue Sky Tim. Where they're like, oh man, I this, that, and I'm not looking at even the IGN one where I was like, were they talking about who I think they're talking? Oh fuck that guy, I got that idiot. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and again, like, it's been so much fun playing this with Ben, because he's the little Statler and Waldorf next to me, where he just has no filter or whatever. And so fucking when I ran up against Lace the first time, right? And Ben, I died like 2 or 3 times in a row. And Ben's like, all right, let's play something else. I'm like, no, Ben, like we gotta beat this.
We gotta lock in, Ben.
We gotta beat it. And Ben just goes, I don't think we can beat them. Ben was like, I don't think we can beat them. And then even before Lace, when it was just regular enemies, I put out this BS. That's a Blue Sky Tim. He goes, I'm sad because you keep dying. You know what I mean? And then another one, when I was playing, and he's just sitting there silently watching me. He just goes, everything gets daddy. Like, I took another cheap ass hit. I was like, damn, man. Fucking stuff it up your ass.
I need him to grow up to be like a pro like game commentator, but not for like fighting games or anything. It's just watching other people play games.
Well, this is the problem, is that we set the expectations too high. Like I said, we started this whole Hollow Knight journey by watching Andy stream. And so Ben got to see Andy go and beat a boss and then send him this voice memo.
Special message.
What?
He's not even playing.
He did it. He beat him.
Yeah.
Can you say congratulations?
Congratulations to you, Andy.
Tell him how good he is.
You're just so good at this one. I can't even believe my eyes.
Couldn't even believe his eyes. So then he sees his fucking hot dog fingered dad can't do it thing to anybody. Ready to quit. Oh, let's go. Dad, it's too tough. Let's play Hot Wheels Unleashed. We're going to beat Lace.
This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. You know that moment. The one when you realized you left your favorite pair of sunglasses at the beach. We've all been there. I'll never forget leaving my incredibly overpriced sunglasses at a restaurant in Santa Monica. That was 13 years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. But then I found Shady Rays and everything changed. Seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm all out and about. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Check this out. You can head to shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shady Rays, use the code FUNNY.
Between busy schedules and summer plans, sometimes all you got is a couple of minutes. Factor helps so many of us here at Kinda Funny eat smarter with tasty, chef-prepped meals that are dietitian-approved and delivered right to my door. And now, with more than 65 weekly meals made for how we live and what I like to eat, we've got even more ways to fit in a real meal wherever the day takes us. On many occasions, Factor has completely saved Greg and Jen when they needed it most. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Eat smart at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code kindafunny50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Andy, has there been things that you're not loving about the game?
Yeah, I would say the early level of difficulty. I think that some early bosses could have only taken away 1 tick and still have been as not as challenging, but still have put up a challenge. I think that the difficulty ramp starts off a lot stronger than Hollow Knight and doesn't give you a whole lot of room to. There's not a whole lot of room to go up because it starts off always that hard.
Yeah.
And I wish that they had kind of leveled that down a bit. I wish that some of the environmental hazards only did 1 tick of damage, but some of them end up doing 2, and that certainly sucks. I would say on the plus side of things, for quality of life, these mission trackers are really cool. That's way further than I thought that they would do. Like the fact that you can open up your start menu and you can see these missions that you've picked up at these certain little towns, and you can keep track of where you're at. That's kind of shocking to me. That seems like something that would have been modded in because the Hollow Knight didn't really have anything like that. It was just, you just play the game and you hope to remember that you found that one item that this one NPC was looking for. But it is really nice that they are so descriptive about where to go and where to find that person. And maybe it's not going to put it on the map, but you can put a marker there. So there is still some of that, this is my playthrough. I am putting down these pins. I am putting down these markers to remember where NPCs are. So yeah, I would say early difficulty, a skosh too high. But on the plus side, I think the player onboarding and tutorializing has been really cool. And the small quality of life things are really awesome. That I just didn't expect anything like that from a game like this, where they kind of take pride in the obtuseness of the experience and you discovering things on your own. I think it's nice knowing that a lot of people are playing this game, and we saw Hollow Knight numbers skyrocketing before Silksong came out. And it is really cool that it isn't the most punishing experience possible for new players. But holy shit, like, I don't know when we'll possibly get sales numbers. I don't know when
they'll casually come out in like 3 years and be like, oh yeah, it showed like 30 million.
Yeah,
cool,
like I don't know where those numbers get tracked, but the fact that Steam only had over 500K and that was only concurrent.
And it broke all the stores.
It broke all of the stores, but like only it was concurrence only, not sales on Steam.
Right.
That's 500K. I don't know the day one sales, but I'm gonna assume around three something million, because all of the other consoles still had to sell. Xbox Game Pass was an option, and you could get it and just download it there if you have Game Pass. But
That's where I got it.
man, they are gonna be sitting pretty for another while, and we'll see Hollow Knight 3 in about a decade. It's insane. It's crazy.
Barrett, what about you? Are the things that you're not loving so far?
I was thinking like the mask system where you're putting like little items on your what is it called, Andy? The
Crests.
the crests. The one thing is I don't love the compass thing. I wish that was just like a permanent
I
thing
was
that
about
you
to say
had.
that. Yeah.
That's like one of those like quality of life things where I'm like we could have changed that a little bit, right? Besides that, yeah, I would say like little things here and there of like, yeah, like running into spikes should be like, it's one of those weird ones where like the initial hitting the spike gets you a health down, and then like blowing up again to like go back to like whatever platform you're on takes off another thing of health. It's like, all right, come on. Little things like that. But overall, I've had such a great time with it. I've only had one technical bug. Not the,
Little guy bug.
Not an insect.
Not an insect. Very unfortunate. There's a very tough fight that I don't love. It is very RNG heavy in terms of how to get through it. And beat him. He falls off screen. And then like the arena usually will open up after. And the arena doesn't open up. I'm like, okay, here comes the second phase. Minute passes by. Nothing. And I start hitting everything around the arena.
Wow.
And eventually I was like, I just got to look up this boss fight. Whole sequence like that should have happened didn't happen in my playthrough, and I was scared I was stuck in the room.
Right, yeah.
And like even after reloading, I was scared I was going to be stuck, but I reloaded. It brought me back to the bench. I was like, all right,
Run it back.
time to run it back with this fucking RNG heavy fight, which really sucks. So that was tough. And then yeah, like the fight that I'm on, I will say is not a boss fight. That I've been stuck on for a while.
Interesting.
And that is, it is the very clear, it's tough to critique it though, because it does feel very much like hey, you need to, like, once you beat this, you're going to have the rest of the game down. This is like our challenge to you to like fucking figure it out type of thing.
Masterclass kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's one of the, like, it reminds me a little bit of like, some people will understand this. I think one of the late bosses in Persona 5 Royal, that is just like the difficulty spike is ridiculous, and you're just like, how this feels like bullshit, but that fight is really teaching you like, hey, you've been playing a certain way, let's try to help you understand the deeper ways and to be playing this. And so it's just one of those things where I'm almost there, but I'm not quite.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only big like kind of head scratchers. Everything else I'm just absolutely head over heels for.
Let me not get hurt by a downed creature. Let me not get hurt by a downed boss.
Classic.
When they're like
Classic
dizzy or
clip.
whatever.
If I touch your thigh,
Yeah.
like there was, and that's just the way Hollow Knight's always been. And I think a lot of that, your mind sort of expects different things from certain games like this, because Prince of Persia would let you just dash through people, and that's your iframes. Mandragora, which was another Metroidvania that came out earlier this year. Fantastic game so far, but that one lets you, like, the whole concept is like dodge roll, through them, and now you're behind him, and those are your iframes. But yeah, like I totally understand, although frustrating, getting hurt by an enemy that is running into you. But I would just get so annoyed at the amount of times of, like, I think Savage Beastfire was one of the ones that when it drops down on you, that was like, oh, that sucks that when you stun it, it drops down and can hurt you.
Yep.
But then I had unlocked a special move that I really, really liked. And so I wanted it to kind of like a larger AoE type move. And I wanted to really kind of envelop all of that beast fly when I was on it. So I wanted to kind of dash into it, then use that move, and dashing, I would get her like, oh, that's right. You're down on the ground. You hurt me. It still sucks.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like that, not that it's led to like a whole lot of deaths lately. It's just more of an annoyance.
Yeah.
Like I think the game would still be hard if I wasn't getting hurt by a downed enemy, you know.
Yeah, that's one of those like everything like not having those iframes almost feels like especially in a 2D like Metroidvania feels like very weird and off-putting, but it feels so inspired by like every movement needs to be thought out like a Souls game. But I think like the downed enemies feels like almost an overcorrection of that in a way. That's one that I definitely forgot about and also get frustrated whenever it comes up.
So far though, I don't really have any bosses that I haven't loved. Regardless of difficulty, beating one, beating some of the tougher ones and just being so pumped up about how awesome the moveset was and what was required of the player and how it ramped up. And sure, there were a couple times where I was like, oh, we were fine with 2 phases. We don't need more. Like, we were fine ending it here.
Yeah.
Why would you add on this extra little? But then by the end of it, it's just, I think they have been so supremely designed, man. Like the most recent one I just did on stream last night, it's far and away the most different of all the other ones that I've experienced so far, but so cool and so creative. And the story that it's even telling while doing it and getting all this context from the world in that moment, it's goddamn, like
beautiful.
What a goaty list this is going to be. This is one of the strongest lists of all time.
Yeah, of the 18 named bosses that I've fought, there's only one boss I actively dislike, and everything else has been such a fun time, even though despite how frustrating some of them can get because of that downloading and learning to master and figuring everything out. And yeah, the storytelling that it all does at the same time.
Greg, what about you? Are there any things that you're not loving about it?
No, I'm taking the game as it comes, right? It comes to me. So I really don't have much to critique. I feel I'm enjoying what they're laying out for me. I enjoy learning the new enemies, whether they be small or big bosses or something to that effect. The compass is a good one because it is. I haven't gotten to a point where I feel like I need to switch it out. I have other things to put in there, but it's like I'm always so fucking lost to start the game. You know what I mean? To learn it. For me, that discovery of the new area and figuring it out and the nooks and crannies. And then I know I can't, we've all played Metroidvania. So it was like, jumping on, I can't get to there. Like at the dash, I'll be back. And you get the dash and you come back. Like that exploration of it is so much fun that like, I'm sure eventually I'll need to switch it out when I feel like I'm grinding something or I know the area well. But yeah, I'm having a great time.